friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan and today is Bookmas Day 20. So for today I have another book recommendation video for you. This one is fun. It is based on Christmas Carol characters and I feel like I have pretty good authority on this, speaking from someone who was just in the Christmas Carol show. So without further ado, let's get into our book recommendations. Kicking us off, who better to start with than Mr. Scrooge himself? I chose Vicious for Scrooge. In Vicious, we are following two dual timelines, and one is in the past and one is in the present day. And we have a lot of character arc happening, a lot of character transformation, for lack of a better term, which I do think happens to Scrooge. But this one is really fun. It follows these two college-aged boys who find out through science experiments that if you bring yourself to the point of death and essentially revive yourself, you will gain superpowers. And so they go about gaining superpowers of their own, and the superpowers are based on the way that you basically tried to die. So it's super interesting in that regard, and I just think Scrooge would find this fascinating, and I think he would like the character arc of these characters and where their story goes. So that is what I would recommend. Moving to our ghosts. First ghost we meet is Jacob Marley, and for him I chose The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I think that this one is perfect for Jacob Marley because after death, Jacob learned kind of what the meaning of life was and what he was supposed to do. Addie never actually dies, but she is forgotten by everyone. So she wants to live forever. She makes a deal with the devil of this fantasy realm, and in exchange for living forever, she will never be remembered by the people she interacts with, and she starts to learn what it means to actually live. So I think Jacob Marley would definitely appreciate this one, and I think it's a great recommendation for him. The Ghost of Christmas Past is next, and this one, I feel like the Ghost of Christmas Past just thrives in others' pain, if that makes sense. I think she looks and likes to torment people in a helpful way, if that makes sense. So I chose the saddest book I can think of, which is The Song of Achilles. I think that the Ghost of Christmas Past would love enjoying a good sob over this book. Next is Christmas Present. Christmas Present is known as this jovial embodiment of Christmas, very Santa-esque in a way. But towards the end of this specific ghost's time, it starts to get kind of creepy and dark, and there's underlying tension and darkness that we didn't see from the get-go. So I chose Caraval. I feel like this book is that, specifically Caraval itself. I think it on the surface looks so bright and shiny and circusy and scavenger hunt and big prizes and everything, but it's very dark and twisted under the surface. So that is what I chose for Ghost of Christmas Present. And then Christmas Future is the silent, doesn't speak at all, Grim Reaper-esque character that shows Scrooge his headstone. And I chose Monday's Not Coming for Ghost of Christmas Future because it's very mysterious, you don't know what's going on, and then it's very grim in the end. So I feel like this is a perfect embodiment of Ghost of Christmas Future. Moving on to some of the other characters, real people of this world, we'll start with his past characters. First up is Fezziwig, which was his previous master that he apprenticed under. And I chose those words specifically because I feel like Fezziwig would be a Star Wars nerd, personally. And I chose Master and Apprentice for that, partially because of the title, but also this is the story of Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and their apprentice, their relationship together and how they kind of clashed on things. Qui-Gon is more go with the flow, follow his heart kind of thing, and Obi-Wan is more rule following, follow his head. And I think that is representative of Fezziwig and Scrooge as well. I think Fezziwig is more open-hearted and willing to just kind of roll with the punches, and Scrooge likes things very meticulous, for lack of a better term. So I think this is a good Fezziwig book. And then the book I chose for Belle, which is Scrooge's ex-fiance, is Every Summer After by Carly Fortune, specifically because this is a second chance romance, and I am a romantic, so of course in my heart Belle wanted to get back with Scrooge at some point, but of course Scrooge needs to change and there needs to be that second chance. So Every Summer After. Moving on to Fred, which is Scrooge's nephew, I chose Sorcery of Thorns. In this, our main character has to team up with someone she has always perceived to be her enemy in order to save the world. And I think Fred would appreciate this because he is much more like willing to give chances and willing to allow people to change than I think most people. I liked this book for Fred because our main character kind of has to look past her own perception and allow for a change of heart in regards to her enemy in order to help. And finally, moving on to our Cratchit family, I'm just doing Bob, Mrs. Cratchit, and Tiny Tim. First up, I chose the Santa suit for Bob. I feel like he would be someone, he would definitely be the husband that's like, I don't want to watch The Bachelor, and then sits there and gets so sucked in to The Bachelor and like ends up liking it more than you. Like, I feel like that's Bob, and he loves Christmas, of course, so I just feel like he would love this like warm Hallmarky type feeling of a book, and also it's very Christmas themed, so this felt appropriate for him. I played Mrs. Cratchit, so I feel like I have the most authority on this. This woman goes through it. She is poor. She has, in the play she has 4 kids, in the movie she has 6. So anywhere from 4 to 6 kids. Her house is full. She's a 1700s, 1800s, whatever time period is wife. So she is like head of the home in regards to cooking and cleaning and everything. This woman needs a break. And I think she would gratefully accept a Bridgerton book as that break. I think she would definitely be a historical romance girly. So I chose the Bridgerton series for her. I just grabbed The Duke and I because it's the first book, but I think she'd read the whole series personally, if she ever found the time. And finally, for Tiny Tim, I just chose the classic middle grade Percy Jackson. I think Tiny Tim would love this. He is smarter than the average kid his age, but he's still a kid and he still likes to have fun. So I chose Percy Jackson for him. So those are my Christmas Carol book recs as the tornado siren is starting to go off. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. In tomorrow's video, I will be sharing all the gifts that I handmade for everyone. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, friends.